Of course, water is important for all farms, no matter what they use it for and where they get it from. What's really important in times of drought is that farmers think really carefully about how they manage the water that they do have on farm.
Up until March 2012, we were facing the most serious droughts that we had done for 30 years. During this period, the Environment Agency worked very closely with the farming community in order to act as flexibly as it could do within its own abstraction licensing policy.
The water here at the farm we use for the root crops, for the potatoes and the onions and shallots. Absolutely critical that we have the water for those crops. This comes from reservoir, overwintered storage, and also a combination of river abstraction. When we have drought conditions, we have to alter the cropping so that we can get as much of the cropping as possible near to where we've got the reservoirs. Going forward, we need to increase our winter storage of water. We're not in control of river abstraction. We are at the mercy of the Environment Agency and the environmental issues that they have to manage. We desperately need to be in control of what we're doing, and winter storage is, as we see, as the way forward.
Our main use of water on the farm is for the dairy herd. We have a very high yielding herd of 12,000 litre average. Awful lot of water needs to be drunk to produce that amount of milk. And we also use a lot of water for cleaning the plant after milking each time we put the cows through. We have big concerns over our water supply in a drought situation. As it is all mains, we worry about any limitations coming through the pipe to us. We try and keep in very close contact with Angular Water to ensure that their supply keeps coming through to us. The droughts have meant that we have to be very careful in managing our feed situation. We've been short of fodder over the last couple of years through the droughts, and we have increased acreages now, both of grass and fodder maize, to counter the drought and make sure we have enough feed for our animals through the year. One of the areas we have considered is rainwater harvesting, with an awful lot of roof space for the yards in which the cattle are housed. We have considered that. We are tenant farmers on this farm, and we would have to engage with the landlord to make that happen. But when all said and done, last year we only had 13 inches of rain, and I think the harvested water would soon run out for the amount of livestock that we keep.
We're on our own water supply here, which are springs, which are piped to catchment chambers. The main use on the farm is spraying. As the growing wheaten rape, we don't irrigate at all, but we also use the supply for cottages and a couple of houses as well. Through the drought times, the springs have never actually dried up. They have run slower. Certainly last year we did look into laying mains water onto houses and to give us a more secure supply, but it is quite an expensive infrastructure project, and we may just end up enlarging the catchment areas to hold more of our own water through wetter times.
Our water comes from quite a few different sources. Here we have a winter storage reservoir, we have river water, we also have borehole and seepage pit water. Well, water plays a very big part in our vegetable production and herb production, because obviously the quality of the leaf is very, very important. So what we're looking to do is schedule our water. We monitor all of our water with neutron probes. So once a week we have somebody come round and they fire neutrons off, and that tells us how much the crop's used and what its predicted usage will be. And from that we then schedule from that and apply that amount of water to keep the crop going at its ultimate rate. I'm growing to my full water capacity rather than growing the crop and then watering it, because today the quality of leaf and vegetable and root product, that's the most important bit. And looking to the future, with more frequent droughts we're getting, we'll probably have to look at reservoir storage, because the restriction on river water will become tighter.
It's the lot of all farmers to manage weather, and they've been doing that for generations, and they've done that pretty well. But the experience of the past few years is that droughts will become more frequent and longer in duration. So farmers are going to have to think very carefully about a new approach to risk management when it comes to droughts. In times of drought, when water is scarce, it's the job of the NFU to make sure that farmers get a fair share of water to grow our food, and to make sure that farmers are helped to become more resilient to water shortages.